Welcome, I will present conversation class. Introduction. We are psychology students and we are going to present the code of ethics for psychologists in Peru. Focusing of professional ethics and professional development, psychology is a science that studies human behavior, thoughts, and emotions. In Peru, the Colegio de Psicólogos del Perú regulates the profession and ensures that psychologists follow ethical rules to protect mental health and human rights. The Code of Ethics help professionals work responsibly and respectfully with individuals, families, and communities. Ethical principles in professional practice. According to Article 3 of the Code of Ethics, psychologists must promote mental health and well-being in fair and inclusive way. They must respect every person's right to mental health and avoid discrimination. Ethics means acting with honesty, empathy, and professionalism. For example, during the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020, many Peruvian psychologists provide free online counseling to help people cope with stress and anxiety, following ethical words of equity and care. Legal and professional responsibility. Article 4, 5, and 5 explain that psychologists must have a professional license and follow legal and moral standards. Working without authorization is considered unethical. Psychologists also have the duty to record stays, limits, and use valid science methods. For instance, Dr. Marino Sanchez, a clinical psychologist in Lima, has emphasis in their view that using uniperfile a psychological test can harm patients and damage the credibility of the professions. Professional development and continuous learning. The code highlighted in Article 10 that psychologists must keep learning throughout their career. Continuous training in science, technology, and emotional skills ensure better service for society. Workshop offered by the Colegio de Psicólogos del Perú and universities such as Universidad Peruana Cayetano Heredia help professionals stay updated in areas like mental health, preventions, and crisis interventions.
I will continue with the presentation. Skill for the use of instruments. The psychologist must construct, applying, and use the psychological instruments he selects, applying them in consideration of scientific procedures and ethical principles. Another is prohibition of providing or offering the service through third parties. In this, the psychologist must not use or hire people in order to induce or convenience user to request their service. Another is fees setting. The psychologist must propose fees from the first consultation, regardless of the outcome of their professional service. The psychologist is solely responsible for agreeing on the financial compensation for these services with the client. Prohibition or modifying the documentary content. The psychologist is prohibited from adulterating, modifying, or falsifying the context of the history and data of the client. Another is use of personal data. The psychologist must preserve the anonymity of the user when the information is used for research or teaching purposes. A fair competition. The psychologist should not provide their services when another psychologist is already attending to the client. Conclusion that to practice as a psychologist, one must first be licensed and registered with a professional association. Second, to content of the user history and data must not be altered. The psychologist must govern his action, taking into account the principles, values, provision, and ethical standards of the code of the ethic of the College of Psychologists of Peru.